You're here once again for more Hunter x Hunter, and with some badges being taken successfully, others still on the prowl for theirs. Certain characters we will never see again, some that have been underdeveloped far too much. But since Killua is still on the prowl for his target, and maybe Leorio is closing in on his prey. We saw how he handled the rock, paper, scissors contest with the girl before, so when he's hunting someone, how's that going to affect him? Let's not forget though, there are toxins inbound, so maybe some makeshift little gas masks and bandanas. Maybe, hopefully it's not airborne. Hopefully it's not a neurotoxin. There are far too many deadly threats here. Let's see what it is. After what we saw in the previous episode with Gon being successful. Granted, it probably came with a lifetime of needing therapy, especially after what we saw with the bloodlust being emanated from Ahsoka. Also, are we going to see the other hunters that we're getting silhouettes of there? Or is that going to be held in the pocket for a later date? I think also alongside just some of the applicants that we've seen do this test, the fact that you've got the likes of Leorio and to an extent Gon, I suppose, where they've got no real experience in this, they're just going through with the hopes of becoming a hunter. There are those that just have superior strength, superior skills and talents, and then there are those that just make the right connections at the right time. That's a useful skill of itself. And I think just being able to get through the test, even if you are only grazing by, is proof enough that you're good enough. Trap in the hole. Okay. Got it. And someone agitated the crows there. Elsewhere in the forest. Do you really think God... Does he not hear Killua? Or is he just in his own little world here? Didn't we already get... Killua doesn't need to sleep for several days? Didn't they say something like that during the 50 hours in the room? I mean, they are just dragging things out now. Every inch of your body there is probably screaming out to run, isn't it? And how has he made it this far, if he's just a kid? Can he actually move? Oh, which is more terrifying, the immediate threat of death or siblings? Actually, he may have a point. They couldn't have came at a better time. Yep, that sounds like how I'd interact with my brothers. Well, at least he gets a show alongside the couple of badges he'll be taking. Well, if they can move in a split second. I mean, if he manages to get Killua's hands out of his pockets, then I'll know that he's actually somewhat to be a threat to be reckoned with. That's a hell of a momentum to get him back on his feet from that position, even without bending his leg. Well, considering he didn't bend his legs. Ha! Well, nice of them to bring themselves to him. They've worked this one out, have they? And what is the formation? Just a V? How many things can you do with... Alright. What was his name? Hanzo? Mr. Ninja Boy. Well, assassins would probably be more well versed in a one-on-one sneak attack kind of situation rather than a group combat, but still, he would be heavily experienced in this kind of thing. He's just gonna go check their badges. That's... Or that. Damn! Wrong way! Would you kindly hand over your badge? Yeah. Just let them loose into the forest. I mean, if you want your badge, go and get it, and maybe the ninja's after one of them as well, or else why would he be there? They really didn't put up much of a fight, which is probably for the best. Wow. It's flying quite some distance. Good catch. He's actually proving himself to be. proven to be quite effective, isn't he? But did he get the right one? I mean, Killua did throw them both. Really? It wasn't as much as just to throw them into the forest, but to also trick anyone that would have been watching. There's still time. Just run back. Maybe just go wait for the boat, I guess. Yeah, there was two ends there, yeah. Ba-ba-da-da-da. We know exactly who we're following when that little riff starts up. Where could it possibly be? How much of the island have you scoured? Hopefully they're not just going in circles around each other. And are waiting. What, too risky? I mean, if they're still alive. It's not only taking what it is, what you need, but defending it. Now you got to think, has this Ponzu actually achieved her goal of getting the proper ID badges? You could swim to that. You probably wouldn't want to go through the water, but you could. There's no telling what could be in there. Yeah. I mean, if they could be so easily spotted, they wouldn't have made it this far in. Not exactly hiding their presence all too well. Also, recovering from his injury and paralysis quite handily. Can you climb? Not to say that Leorio could even make it down from the tree if he managed to get up. Also, his slight reluctance to answer fully there. Hiding from even the eagle eyes have gone. She's been taken out already. She's hiding. Didn't think of that one. Out of action. Falling to the likes of the environment and the island. I guess as one way of dealing with this, if you make sure that you're not being followed or anything, you could take your badge and bury it. Put it somewhere safe. So even if you are jumped, I don't have it. Sucks to be you. You gotta keep me alive if you wanna know where it is. What kind of chemical weapons are there? Because there's quite a few of them that don't have any odour. Like with the gas we use for heating, an odour is added to it because it is undetectable. It's to let you know when there's a leak. How many parts per million can Gon's nose pick up? Also, considering how many of the other wannabe hunters have already been taken out, I'm not surprised they're able to just wander through the fields and the countryside here so easily. He is also incredibly confident in the direction he's heading, and from what we've seen in the little montage here of them walking, they've been going for a while, and the time's changed. They've been walking for a long time. How the hell was he even able to pick up a direction to go in the first place? A cave. Yeah, you want to go in a cave when there's chemical warfare? Perfectly safe. A great way to air it out nicely. And leaving his case behind, just taking the almighty stick. Checking for traps. It might be poison darts and the like, pressure sensitive floor. At least he's not just walking in, I suppose. But what else is there? "30 minutes is still one hell of a long time, though. A lot could happen in that." You're stuck with him until the very end, which might be in 30 minutes. He's trying to be cool here, be a big man. But there's no getting rid of them, is there? What was that? I mean, his badge is in there. And it's a sign of trust that he'll be coming back to collect it. Right. A lighter. Quite necessary when you go into a cave. There is light at the end of that tunnel. Whether that's a good thing or not. And what will we see when we finally get into the illuminated room at the end? That's not the right one. Ah, there she is. Well, if Bourbon was yours, then yeah. It's likely to say that Ponzi would be Leorio's. But why they just sat here? Well, so why hasn't he spoken much? I'm guessing that she's already completed her task. Creepy. What are some of these creatures and how marketable are they as plushies? And I don't think that this Bourbon is sleeping. He's just said don't come in. It was a warning. At least be a little cautious. That's some big gummy worms. Their poison might not be that strong, but with how many bites he's had, yeah. Then it was spread to him as well. It's not like he's received any facial wounds recently. Just to try and... Not only did they stop the bleeding, they replaced his shirt for him. I mean, you don't want to be dying and look bad. I mean, she did say there's, like, no way out now, so... The snakes attack. No wonder she's been sat there. And then he took a very long nap. So the options are stay in the cave. I don't think it's going to be very talkative. Stay in the cave, miss the timer and stop being part of the hunter exam, and die of starvation. Or try and leave, and end up horribly bitten. Let me guess, he set the trap, she won the duel, he fell. There's no way to undo what has been set up with the snakes. A good thing it's a very slow-acting poison. Well, at least all of it so far has just been a little bit of fatigue and fever. No heavy necrosis or anything. Also, good thing none of them have fear of snakes. Now, there's several ways that you could possibly get out of this situation. Depending on how long the tunnel is. The audio still has his lighter. You can make an impromptu, like, torch that might get some of the snakes to disperse. But I think considering she is sat there so calmly, managed to avoid the dangers of the snake so far, but how many days have you been in this cave? Now, I think, putting aside Gon's impeccable tracking skills, the idea that your target could have just crawled off into a cave and gotten stuck and there's been no way of tracking them down. Well, we had a little bit of that before with Gon. With Gon. Oh, if I don't attack now, my chance to grab the badge would have been lost. Yeah, what about other people who have had that chance taken from them before even setting sight on their target? Or what about the ones there they're chasing after the wrong badge. That poor ninja. I'm assuming, though, that considering we do have a free-flying point, or 3 points, out there, someone's going to stroll across it, and I don't think the brothers are going to be all too eager to risk themselves. All it would take now is for the ninja to run around a little longer. Shouldn't be too hard. But considering this is the final piece of the puzzle, the last member of the group who hasn't got 6 points, and all it is a wade through venomous snakes to get to the exit, well, there's either going to be something on the island that can be used to administer treatment to him, or the snakes themselves aren't actually that dangerous, and it's just a mindset of, oh, you think they're poisonous, so now you're poisoned. Or maybe the one that, deals with toxins and the like has something. Or the snake charmer himself. You just need to rummage through his pockets. Sure, he won't mind. If you've got a problem with that, mate, speak up. Remember, it's not grave robbing if they haven't been buried. And I'm guessing if they are able to get out of the cave and maybe bring Ponzu with them, well, out of gratitude, we saved your life. Badge, please. Better luck next year. Maybe stay away from any caves filled with dangerous noodles. Also, the fact they kept calling them poisonous snakes. I mean, unless you're going to cook them into a stew or something. And with the three brothers learning a valuable lesson, even their unbeatable technique of surround them has been thwarted by a child, nonetheless. Will they start to take things a little more seriously, start to potentially not put themselves in great danger's way just because their brothers are a little scary? And being the oldest of three brothers, I wonder if I was ever looked at to be that kind of domineering kind of presence. I very much doubt so. Even if I did break my brother's fingers. But at least they've got each other. May not have their badges, but there's always next year. It's a lot better than some of them have received. And while I sit here waiting and hoping for a emotional reunion with Killua and the others when they've actually... the boat is returning. I wonder what we were going to have to sit through to... Well, before we see that. And also, on the grand return, when everyone's gathered to get back on the boat, is the hunt still on? Because if you had someone who's just incredibly bloodthirsty, maybe there's like a little truce area. Once the boat is docked, that's it, fighting's over. But hopefully you're going to come back with me for the next episode of Hunter x Hunter, where I'm guessing for quite a few minutes we'll be going over the benefits of speleology, maybe some herpetology, and maybe some other scientific terms that I can remember. But for the now, anti-venoms, antitoxins, well, pretty much anything, I guess, may be in short supply in this world, especially on this island. I want to see what they do, how they come out of it. The audio wants to be a doctor, so come on, think of something. But if you enjoyed, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. Get yourselves a bit of rest. I'll see you in the next one. If for some inconceivable reason you would want to be caught in a cave with me, well, I hope you'd rather sit back and just watch anime instead, because thanks to the likes of Noku, Raywin, Sal, Arthia, Kite, Shiwan, Mats, Girly, Cardboard, Mega42, Dark Shadow 7899, Akane, Tori, Jane, Wadi Said, and everyone else, we have a lot more to go through. And this channel really wouldn't be here without all of you, because you are the anti-venom to my wounds. I just wish you'd stop bringing the snakes as well.